and anybody on the earth who knows him will bear witness. Ask any Muslim on the earth, in the United States of America or anywhere in the earth, who knows the name Shamshad Ali Siddiqui of my father, and they will bear witness that that man was a bearer of the light. There is no doubt of that. And it's important that that be known because I'm telling the story, right? And we said we have to show the fundamentals. And so my mother, we showed how she accepted the truth and was a bearer of the light. And so the same challenge I must be able to make as a person who tells the story, that anyone who has ever known the name Aisha Siddiqa, the name my mother chose to go by as a Muslim woman believing in the light, that all of the Muslims in the world who didn't understand how this woman, who was a British lady speaking with a British accent, could be a Muslim like she was, then all of them will tell you what I am humbly admitting to you, that my mother was a blessed noble woman bearing the light. And I'm telling you all of this only because I'm saying that my greatness is nothing, and I am not great. Allah is the greatest, but I got a special gift, and it's going to be made known to you. But I haven't explained why the story has come yet. And so I want to give a few more details because they said I really want to give you the story, and if by God I'm going to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, I might as well show you the package so that you truly understand. My father was saved, as I said, and lives to this day by the thanks of God. And me being back here in the West, my father wanted one thing again. I wish my son would go to law school and learn the law so he could do something in this land, because my father still believed that the best thing he could do for his son as he prayed was for him to be able to speak the way of the people and talk to them about their own things. And perhaps he didn't understand the prayer that he made, and I know I didn't understand it at the time. And so my father kept wanting me to go to law school, and I, having studied Islam, thought, why would I want to study American knowledge? I've just been studying the knowledge of the light from the East, and I don't want to study worldly laws. And I was a little bit confused, but I began to change my mind as it was the wish of my father, and I thought there might be a reason why I should study this, since I've spent so much time studying the way to communicate the language of Arabic and understanding the linguistics of that land and the stories that they have and the way things were set up. But I didn't understand the whole truth that I'm revealing to you now. And so I come to this strange point where I was thinking in America, we have gotten to the point where things are so corrupt and the forces of darkness are enslaving mankind. And I looked at America as the enemy, right? I didn't understand the concepts that I'm telling you. And so as a young man, I thought America is not the enemy in the sense that I'm going to fight with them. No, I knew better than that. I knew better than that. I'm not a crazy jihadist, as you might say in today's terminology. I told you we want to stay above these concepts and let you understand that for once a Muslim who is able to communicate in your words, in your way, is telling you the story of the truth so that you may listen and proving it by the story. So it is this point that I decided, okay, I will go ahead and go study the law. My father wants it and he thinks it is the right thing for me to do. And I didn't think I wanted to practice law, and still know that that is not my destiny. But I, being an immigrant, it's hard to get into law school, and everybody knows the situation. And if we're going to talk about the reality and tell you the truth real quickly, of course, I figured out a way to find something strange in the United States. There are these programs where sometimes the government sets up these systems where if you do these different studies or programs and volunteer work or methods, you can get into programs for minorities or people who are underprivileged and suppressed in society. A strange thing that we have in this country, still in existence. So I got into a program that is called the Council on Legal education opportunity based on Thurgood Marshall, the Black Justice of the United States of the Constitution. And I'm telling you this part of the tale that I got into a special summer program to help you learn about the American laws and help you get into law school. And I applied to law schools all over the United States and ended up getting accepted and going to law school here in Houston, Texas. But I had been so misguided in the story and not knowing what to look for that I found myself thinking that the world was at a struggle between the East and the West, as so many people depict it. And we had gotten in a time where there's so much darkness and everything is about money and corruption and politics, and how can we make sense of all of this confusion? And so I found myself sitting there in this program, which was strange, with a large group of African Americans who had gone in on this scholarship program. Now, if I tell you the detailed stories of my life, then you will know that I have no problem with African American people, and I'm always tight with the brothers and the sisters, of course, because I understand the story that I've been telling you, and that is there is only one God, and all of us are the sons of Adam. And of course, I said I'm going to talk a little bit about racism and the African American issue, and so I've got to be able to reveal to you the story of the truth. And since I said I'm telling you the whole story of the truth, being able to talk about racism should be fairly simple in understanding the truth of the light. But I said there I found myself sitting in law school, surrounded by African Americans. Now let's be honest, you know, amongst most white people, if you're one white person with a bunch of black people, you're supposed to be uncomfortable because that's how we're trained in the West. But I am a little bit different than most people in that I'm white, and my mother's British, and I speak English without an accent. My dad's brown and speaks with a totally different accent. So I'm always down with African American people, because you can go talk to an African American person, doesn't matter where he's from, even if his name is Thomas Jefferson and he's a black guy, and he starts to talk to you. When you tell them you're a white guy and you start talking and they look at you, but you say your name is Salim Siddiqui, then any black person goes, oh, okay. You're not really a white dude, you're cool. Your name is Salim Siddiqui, right? Even though his own name is Thomas Jefferson, but it's a story of truth, and I know it's comical, but since we're talking about race, the stereotypes are there and we all misunderstand things. But before I go on in the story, I have to talk about this fundamental turning point in my life, and that is going to law school. We said that we must remain consistent in this tale, that the fundamental of the story is what? La ilaha illallah. There is only one God. And we said we call God in Arabic Allah, meaning the God, the one who created the universe, you, me, and all that is in it, the one who created every living thing in the universe, the one who created the angels out of light, who have no free will and are obeying the Lord by their nature. They don't disobey the Lord. There are other races of smokeless fire of many kinds that we've gone through, and that God created Adam, the greatest of all the races, and taught Adam the word. And that all of this is in the chain that God told Adam there was going to continue to be prophets, each in succession, and that we will live and we will die and our souls will be raised, and that there's punishment in hell and reward for the eternal souls of the everlasting, for those who understood the plan of the Lord and recognized Allah, the one true God. And we said that God is not to be understood as any graven image or statue. That the way to understand the Lord is always to understand Him as the light. And so we remained consistent in our story that anyone who is searching for the truth must always be searching for the light. And so I've told you, if you're really listening to the story and paying attention and trying to find the light, you shouldn't be deceived by the dark parts of the story that are even magical and powerful and supernatural in nature, but you should still be trying to search for the light. And we said we always must remember that in every part of the story, this is a war between the light and the dark. not even between the sons of Adam, not even between our race and the other races, but between them who are dark and us who are dark. And there is a war that is everlasting between the light and the dark, not the misconception that you are told about Islam or Muslims at this very day. Let me just take a little break.